Has my boyfriend slept with this woman, or is she just really desperate? My boyfriend and I have been dating for around 3 years. We were casual in the sense of seeing other people for the first year, after which I agreed to be his girlfriend after he asked me out on many occasions. It was that first summer, around 6 months after we met, that he invited me to a pool party at one of his friends' place. She and her husband are a married couple with 2 young children. I instantly noticed a connection between my boyfriend and the wife, who we'll call Sandra for the sake of simplicity. After a while, she switched on a portable speaker and started singing along to a 90s R&B song with the words, "Tim, this is for you." The lyrics of the song started, "Nobody will love you as much as I do." Her body was covered with sunscreen while the music played and my partner stood close watching her. I took a step back and kept an eye on them from a safe distance, for the simple reason that I had no feelings for him at the time. I just thought to myself, these two used to bang, and carried on. As my relationship with my boyfriend became more serious, I started to notice more things going on between him and Sandra. The following summer, after we had been dating for a year, we returned to their home for my boyfriend's birthday celebration, which they graciously hosted for us. When it was time to get the cake, I had to go down to the basement with Sandra, who was a great help. She went down to the basement and placed her arm against the wall in a blocking stance before starting to grill me with questions. "Can you tell me your age?" says the interviewer. "Tim has shown a desire in having children. Can you tell me how you propose to proceed?" Even though I was frustrated by the situation, I chose to be courteous and answer the questions, since I was at least 11 years her younger and at her home. She ultimately let me go once she had the answers she was looking for. We paid them a visit on Canada Day the next summer, and they were thrilled. We had all gotten a little tipsy by this time, and I found myself sandwiched between my boyfriend and Sandra, with the BF on my right and Sandra to my left. Suddenly, Sandra leaned over me and pressed her hand on my boyfriend's chest, saying, "Tim, look at me. Take a look at me, please. You have my heartfelt admiration." He didn't reply and seemed to be uncomfortable, but I assume he didn't respond because I was present. Because I was just talking to my boyfriend about what love is. He's never explicitly voiced his feelings for me, but I've told him he loves me, and he pointed to his chest, the same location Sandra touched that night, and said, "It's just a feeling. You can't articulate it." Is it true that he has never expressed his feelings for me, but his closest female friend once shoved him in the breast and uttered such things to him, and now he is displaying that gesture towards me? Odd. Even later in the summer, she and her family, husband, and 2 children happened to come up to our house by accident one Sunday afternoon. The top floor of our house was being shown to her by my boyfriend when she stated, "So now is the part when I pretend I haven't seen this before." As far as I am aware, she has never visited us at our residence. Furthermore, it should be noted that she has been married for more than 10 years. That's unusual to hear it for the second time. Another thing to note is that there was a little moment of silence upstairs before she stepped into our restroom and the BF returned. When he stepped down, he licked the inside of his lips softly. It wasn't enough for the rest of the world to notice, but it was enough for me to take note. Let's fast forward to the summer of this year, year 2 of us being official. It was time for another pool party, so we returned to their home. My presence made her feel uneasy, and I could hear her talking about me with all of her female friends, which made me feel even worse. Observations such as, "I'm not sure whether she's old or young," and other statements caused all the females that day to shun my company. She is always uncomfortable in my presence, but she looked to be particularly uncomfortable this time. In addition, after a number of disagreements with her, I saw that my BF behaved much differently around her. Even worse, she didn't seem to give her the benefit of the doubt, which seemed to upset her as she tried unsuccessfully to grab his attention at all times. The focus of his attention was pulled to me. At long last, he's behaving in the manner in which he should, I thought to myself. It just took 3 years, says the author. Sandra reminds me of a friend of mine called Tony, who is quite similar to Sandra. Tony and I have known one another for more than a decade, and we've even been on a few dates together. When we're with one another, the mood is always the same, comfortable, with inside jokes and lots of tension. It's important to note that, prior to our relationship, our flirting was considerably more intense, similar to Sandra's with my ex-boyfriend. It was relentless in its pursuit of me. I bring this up because it's probable that my BF and Sandra are experiencing a great deal of tension that has been building for a long period of time. Does it seem like my BF and Sandra are planning Or has he always paid her a lot of attention but isn't now since he has a long-term girlfriend that scares her? This is his first serious relationship. He's never had a girlfriend for more than 6 months before me. And I'm between 11 and 12 years younger than my lover and each of his friends, including Sandra. I get the impression that she is jealous of my youth and good looks. The only time she seems to do so is when she is around my BF, which makes me feel uncomfortable. It had the impression of a frantic old married woman who was on her last legs, a woman who wants to know whether she still has it, decides to fling herself at her male friends to see if they would pay attention to what she has to say about it. It's a really terrible situation. Story 2. Double cheating on a boat. So I, 27M, was in a relationship with a 25F, whom I'll refer to as A, for roughly 5 years, from about 22 years old until this past year. We lived together for 2 years and had a tumultuous relationship. A lot of stuff piled up. I worked 12-hour shifts at night, while she worked 2-3 days a week and sat at home to watch her TV programs. While she partied with her pals, I ended up paying all of the rent and utilities. We moved into a duplex next door to her closest pals, her best friend, M, and her boyfriend, or we'd all hang around and get along just fine. Things became strange one day when I got home from working from midnight to 4 p.m. I was incredibly fatigued, yet I had to return to work at midnight. As soon as I go in, the three of them are hanging around, already quite tipsy, and it is thrusting a shot at me. I became irritated and told her how tired I was and how much I needed to sleep. She is irritated because I never get out with them and am constantly sleeping since I work so hard to pay for her not having to work. I don't get physical with her, but when she pours half a shot of rum on me, I grasp her hand and almost flip. That's when R comes in and attempts to create a fight with me over how I'm treating her. I simply tell him to off and go to bed. I fall asleep fast and wake up at 10:30 a.m. for work. I'm hearing some strange sounds since we share walls. When I walk downstairs, there is no one on my side of the house. Just as I'm about to leave for work, I see M has gone to her parents' home, which is literally directly down the street. Over the following several weeks, I observe R spending a lot of time alone, and other people notice as well. Then M and R are married. M's maid of honor is A, and I'm in the wedding party. Our relationship is now a shell of what it once was, yet there were still happy moments. The majority of the wedding party went on a cruise a month before the wedding. It was intriguing and engaging, but it simply seemed strange. I had food sickness and was virtually restricted to mine and A's room for 2 days. She decided to remain with R and M on day 4. She came over to check on me and left her phone to charge. I already had a gut sense about something and needed proof. Sure enough, their communications were loaded with urging each other to stop being so apparent, and a lot of images. I snapped some photos with my phone and went back to sleep for another day or 2. I didn't say anything since I wanted to proceed with caution. I didn't even get the opportunity. I went on a ski vacation with a couple friends from a different group a week later, so none of them went. M posted a lengthy diatribe on Facebook the day I left about how her ex-best friend is an R is a cheating. I didn't even have to say anything. It was a fun weekend packed with drink, marijuana, and hot tub. And R are still together, and I'm saddled with a mountain of debt from paying for everything. But I'm not unhappy every day because of her.